Welcome to another episode of Ron's O-Gauge Train Journey. Okay, putting the track together. We have 3 in the middle, 2 curves, center, straight, another straight over there, and this is how they all go together. Those pins slide in to the holes, and then they should go tight. That is not tight, so we got to get tight and push them together. So they're tight like that, or tighter. All right. And then it all goes together all around like that. It only has the pins on one side, so you can't put them in wrong. Cleaning the track, which you might need to do seasonal or if it gets moist or stuff. You want to use, and this is odd, you want to crumble up aluminum foil and then rub it across the top of the rails. That will clean up anything, stuff that has gotten on there, and any pits or stuff, it will fill it in. This is the track power clip. 2 pieces. This rests against one rail and this hooks on to the middle. So when you lift it up, I'm trying to do that. All right. Slide it in. Let's see. Like that. That's probably close enough. That fits there. And then this part right here slides over top of this part. You just lift it up. That gets, the outside is the common or ground, and the middle is the power. Common thing that people ask is kids in danger touching it. They're not gonna cause any problem. They're not gonna get any voltage through it unless they're holding something that's metal, and then they go across, then there's a short. It's still not like touching a outlet. So that's how that goes. And then to release it, you just flip the center rail and it will just flop down. Another piece I forgot to say, if these are tight and hard to push in, that's a good thing. It means it's making good connection. So just give it good push and it'll get there. And sometimes you have to be patient. It'll get in there, and you don't want to lubricate it or anything like that. That's not a good thing for the electrical connection. All right, so rear wheels, engine wheels, front wheels, all got to rest on there. That latch, called a slot coupler, goes on to that one. This is the proper way, with the coal facing the engine, to hook the tender. This is second. What you do is you bring it over and slide that onto the other one. And slides in there like that. See it? All right. And the rest just connect that way as well. Wiring it up. These unscrew, and then you put those pieces on and screw them back on. Off, full power. This is a Marx engine, and so a typical Marx engine, When I give it power, it will go backwards. So it goes backwards, then you just turn it off and turn it back on again. This motor is about probably from the 1950s. So it is a good bit of age to it. So it might take a little bit for it to warm up when you first start it out. But it's going pretty good now. And got the light and all that stuff. Not seeing a lot of spark. Families get worried about the spark, and I say, especially if you got car fitting, put it down. A mat of some sort if you're a little bit worried. We just had an derailment, and what I do with that is I turn it off, and when it derails, it short circuits it. And usually what happens on this is that this front truck is what comes off, and I just turn off the power, hook it back up again, and again, off, on, and we're off. And that was likely because I was going a little speedy. Okay, this is the whole drain. And sometimes there's issues like that where it just came off. And this, what I was going to say is parts of the track that seem to be a problem. One of the things you'll find is it will want to stop or come off the track in the absolute worst possible place, like behind a tree or something like that, where you have to reach back there and get it. I would not leave it plugged in at night, even though I've turned it off. I would unplug it and then replug it in, or have something that's a switch, power strip or something like that. You turn it off. That's that. All right, Bruckers, I made a change. I'm putting this one in. I was going to do that one because it's a lower wattage. That way it's not tending to go over spill speed. But it was having too much trouble with all those cars getting around the corners. So one of the things here I did not tell you is that if it doesn't go forward when it's supposed to, there's a couple things you can do. You can tap the top, and that will release the plunger in there. You can also lift this up and put it back on the track, and that will do it. And this is how this one goes. It just slides forward, off. And back. So about there is where we're at for speed. Hard to do. You have to tap it right about there when it's off. And about there. Gets it around the corner. Try again. Some maintenance that you have to do if you don't run it regularly, and say you only pull it out once a year. The wheels on either side, right on the outside parts, can get also lose connection, and they will spark more on the rails. So if you see a lot of sparking, it's because the connectivity there is a problem. So what you do with that is you get a simple green scrubber and you scrub just along the outside of that, and you just rotate the wheel like that while you're scrubbing just this part right here between the ridge and the outside thing. Lubrication, and I use this to lubricate. This is lightweight motor oil that I use in there. People have used sewing machine oil. It's got to be a light oil, and if that doesn't work, you don't have what I have. I have a nurse as a daughter, so I can get what I need. Just dipping a toothpick into the oil, and then you will get some in the spots where I tell you. You don't ever want a lot, you just want a little bit. And the spots where you do it, on the gear, in the center of the gear, right here and right here, is good. And then on the other side, right in the middle here, the shaft for the armature is right here, and that's where you put that, another piece, just to drop. On the wheels, if they're squealing, we might do that. But again, you can always call me up for any of this and say, Mr. Boyd, we need a tune-up. All right. I'll do this on the car, but it goes for all wheels. Again, you just rub it in between, and then just a little bit on that, on this side of the axle. So boom, boom, on all the axles. Not on the outside because you get oil on the paint and stuff, but inside here, between the wheel and the ridge, and then right there where that hole is. And that is that. Then I have a bigger one of these, and this, believe it or not, has a common grease, and that, again, you just put a little bit of that on the outside of the gear here, just running it along here and a little bit on there, and then you rotate it and you get it all in. You don't need a lot. And this is Vaseline, so I just use a little bit of that, and that's the only place where you put Vaseline is on the gears. And again, you don't have to do it. I can do it, and the other way you can do it is just taking a little bit of on a toothpick. This is humming, and it's okay. I just wanted you to see what it used to look like. That, and then this would be a tender and probably in that shape. So I added things like ladders and the water tank fill up top, and just some little extras along the line.